Welcome. This is MoneyHeart, where we explore the emotional side of money. I'm Camille Diaz, and today we're discussing what your cable provider doesn't want you to know. My guest is Rick Giambanco. He's with Premier Solutions, Inc., which is a cost reduction company. They negotiate your business and personal wireless and cable expense. So, Rick, welcome to MoneyHeart.
Thank you so much, Camille, and thank you so much for having me today.
Yeah, glad you're here. And we're going to cover all kinds of cool tips. We're going to talk about things that they don't want you to know how to do, like how to figure out the best time of when to call and how to skip waiting in line and being on hold for half an hour before you talk to somebody. But before we get to some of that stuff, I want to know, what is a cost reduction company? Just briefly tell us what it is you do.
Absolutely. It's just that. We help both business owners and individuals save money and reduce their cost on their wireless and cable monthly bills, their telecommunication expenses. We simply do that by renegotiating the best rates and the best promotions with their current service provider for the same level of service or better.
That's cool. So you must really know like all of the inside stuff if you're going in and negotiating this for people. How do you even know this stuff?
That's correct. So this is my 10th year in the telecommunication industry. And 6 of those years were spent with a major large telecommunication company that services the entire country. Through my career there, I learned the tips and tricks and promotion codes and really how to, reduce your cost, how to
That's
skip
awesome.
the line and reduce your cost.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So
Yeah.
tell us some of the stuff that I guess that they're getting away with. Tell us what's happening to us that we don't even know about, that's going on in the background when we're calling. And then at some point I got to share my cable company internet story.
That's right. That's
But I
right.
want you to kind of tell us a little bit about what you see happening to people or what's going on that we don't really know.
Absolutely. So there's a number of different things, starting with false expectations. From the point of sale, whether you're buying at the store, whether you're buying with customer care, the false expectation of, oh yeah, your price is going to be one thing and then it's another. And then you can't get back to that person anymore, especially if you call them over the phone. Certain fees that they're telling you they will be waived: installation fees, activation fees, early termination fees, and then they never are. So when you're calling in for a service issue and the technicians never show up. So
Wow.
the expectations and the responsibility they get away with on a daily basis across the nation.
Yeah.
The miscommunication, that's another one. Telling you one thing and it's another. Promising you it's one price and then you get your bill and it's a totally different price. Obviously, service and billing issues like we just discussed. And just overall, a standard of not caring that the customer is overpaying, not caring that the customer is going through all this aggravation just to get a service issue resolved or a billing issue resolved. And it's just a standard across the board for all these providers, wireless.
Right. And I think that's a great point that you make of, they say it's going to be one thing when you get on the phone and you initially set up the package or whatever it is. And then maybe it's that way for the first month or 3 months or something. And a couple months later, it's no longer that way because you didn't realize you were getting into a 1-year commitment, but only a 3-month deal. And then when you call to try to sort it out, you've got to call in your free time, spare time, which not many of us have time to sit on the hold with the cable or internet people.
Right.
So you end up getting billed this extra amount for months until you're able to take care of it, or you have to spend all that time up front to get it solved. So yeah, super infuriating issue. And it gets expensive. I mean, we could be using that money for something else, even if it's only $5 or $10. I'd rather go do something fun with that.
I wish it was only $5 and $10. If that was the case, this would be innocent. We wouldn't have a career. We wouldn't have clients all over the United States who have the same exact issues, which is thousands and thousands of dollars of overpaying, of billing issues, of dollars that they were promised and never given. And I'll tell you what, our average consumer, our average individual saves $3,000 a year.
Wow.
That is anywhere from $150 to $220 per month. This is way beyond a $5, $10 innocent charge. These companies have gotten to be billion-dollar companies because they're overcharging their customers, businesses and personal.
How do we know what to look for? Like if we get our statement, or even when we're just first calling to sign up, or I guess, switch or whatever, what questions are we going to be asking here to make sure we're getting a good deal, the right deal, not overcharged? Like, how do we even handle this?
Okay, so we'll start with on a personal level, right? Residential, your individual TV, internet, landline, or cell phone, let's say.
Yeah.
When it comes to TV and internet, which is everyone has, right? Or at least internet, everyone has.
Yeah.
One of the first thing you should look at is to find a package, a TV package or internet package that you will not underutilize. A lot of times, these customer service representatives, their incentives based on a commission, incentive is to sell you the most expensive TV package, the most expensive internet package, an unlimited cell phone plan, so on and so on. And then when you really take a look at it, you're like, well, wait a minute, I'm overpaying and underutilizing. So by simply taking a look at, okay, I'm buying 300 channels, do I watch 300 channels? By simply going through your channel list and then making sure that there isn't a package below that is $50 less a month that has everything you want, and that's $50 less a month. Same thing for internet. These providers are pushing fiber and fiber. However, we have plenty of customers that we have 200 megabytes or 400 megabytes, so literally a third of the internet, and it works just fine. So overpaying and underutilizing is a good way to go through your bills to say, okay, what am I underutilizing on?
So really kind of going line by line and saying, how much am I paying for? Am I using it up?
Yes.
And if you're not using what you're paying for, then going in and seeing if there's a next package down or a couple packages down that will still serve your needs, but not be more expensive. Because you're right,
Correct.
we do get that upsell. Well, if you want to do this one, you could get, and it sounds amazing. It's like, oh yeah, I want all that extra stuff. And then, 6 months later, you're like, I use none of it. I watch none of those channels. I'm not using that much internet, whatever it is. Okay, cool.
Correct. And that's for personal. For businesses, it's the same exact thing. For businesses, we don't need fiber internet at every location. There are internet packages that will take care of your business just fine, make it efficient, and still be at an affordable rate. One of the industry secrets for businesses is that they will tell you if you have a TV, internet, and phone plan that you cannot get rid of your TV service, or else your internet and landline will be more expensive. That is a lie. So knowing what bundles you should be paying for is a huge advantage.
Can I just make sure that I
Yeah,
understood that correctly? If
yes,
I'm a business, they will tell me that I am not allowed to get rid of my TV service.
and if
Otherwise,
you
my internet
do,
and phone will be more expensive.
your promotions would expire. Your promotions will be taken away. And same thing on the personal side.
That doesn't make any sense though, because I'm not watching TV at my office.
That's correct, but it makes sense for them.
Oh, right, sure.
Right. So their incentive is to not cancel your services, whether you're using them or not. And they will do, it is an old trick. It is a good trick that works still on a lot of people. The truth is, it is a lie. You can get rid of at any time any of your services, upgrading or downgrading or canceling without the penalty of losing your existing discounts and promotions, without your bill being increased.
Really? So even if you get them all together and you have some sort of a promotion, if you want to remove a service, you are allowed to do that and not lose your promotion.
Yes, we do it every day.
Wow. Okay, that is fabulous information to know, because I don't think anybody knew that was a thing. Now, do you have to be specific? Do you have to tell them I'm keeping my
So
promotional rate, or just tell them
of course,
everything?
yeah, so you've when you make it clear, hey, I don't use this service, I want to get rid of it, they're going to use every trick in the book to
Right.
get you to keep that service, whether it's
Right.
downgrading or whether it's whatever the case may be, but to keep that service. And the reality is you don't have to. Now, I can't go into the secret sauce
That's
on
okay.
what we do and how we do
Nope,
it
that's
to
okay.
get those
That's okay.
services removed, but I can tell you that they can be removed. We
That's
do
cool.
it
That's
on a daily
great
basis.
to know. That's great
Yes.
information to know. Okay, so let's see what other things, like I know so you're kind of getting into the bundles and the packages and the promotional plans and things like that. Tell us what to kind of watch out for when things are packaged together, or if a plan is grandfathered in or not. Like, how does all of that work?
Okay, so a few questions there.
Yeah.
Sure. So as far as promotions and discounts go, let's start with the grandfather plan, which is the oldest plan and the best plan. That was a white little lie that the telecommunication companies made back in the early 80s and 90s to get their customers to stay with their current plan and not switch to a different plan or a different carrier. Oh, but you're grandfathered in, you're not going to get this anywhere else. Oh, you shouldn't change this plan. So that notion that a plan that is older is the best one forever is another lie. There is some truth to that. And the reason why I say it is because there are plans from 2012, 2013, 14, 2016 that you cannot no longer find them. And you can no longer get them unless you know they exist and unless you know the actual promotion code, which in the telecommunication industry is called a SOC code, an SOC code. You have that code, you have that promotion, and it can be applied to your account. So there is some truth that there are some older promotions that are just better, but not every grandfather plan is the most affordable one. We look at grandfather plans every day and we negotiate them, same service, and we just lower the cost.
So sometimes they might tell us, oh, you might want to stick with your current plan because you're grandfathered in. You have this one of those old plans. It's probably not as good as the new plan. And it may be, or it may just be that you're paying a little more on your old plan, so we'd rather you please stick to your old plan.
That's correct. And here's one more. How do we confirm?
Right. Yeah. How do you see the code? Like, how do you know what all the plans are so we can get?
How do you confirm?
Yeah. How do you
You're
confirm?
trusting someone who is on a commission and on an hourly rate working for the provider that's billing you, and the more money they bill you, the better off they're going to be. And
Right.
there is no way to confirm it. And that's where, well, expertise.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's one of those things that it's like, yeah, how would you know that you got the best deal? Because we can't see what's coming up on their screen.
Isn't that convenient for them?
Yeah. Now I have a question for you, because I think we chatted about this before, and I just want to ask it really quick. If they see a deal come up that you qualify for, are they required to give it to you? Are they allowed to give it to you? Or do you have to have like the secret password or the catchphrase to know to ask for
Okay,
if
so
there is one?
This is sort of a rabbit hole. It goes into a few different variables and items, which I'll talk about. Not every representative that you speak to on the phone wants to help you get the best promotion. It is not their job to get you the best promotion. It is their job to try to resolve your issue. And that's the key word, is try. I've seen representatives look at the actual discount in front of them and look at the customer, and because the customer was rude, not offer the promotion or discount. I have seen where a customer asks for a supervisor because the representative is not giving them a promotion. And instead of the supervisor coming on board, it's the co-worker next to them.
Just any other
Just
voice.
any other, and they're going to tell you the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I've seen different different representatives. One representative say, yes, you can get, let's say, a $50 promotion.
Mm-hmm.
One representative say, no, there's no promotions available. And one representative say, yes, you can get a $75 promotion.
Wow.
Every time you call, you're being directed to a person who you don't know if they're having a bad day. You don't know if they're not required to help you. And you don't know what promotions they have. Which brings me to my next point. Every single representative at the store location level or at the customer location level has different promotions. And if you don't know which one you should be getting and the highest one you should be getting, they're not going to tell you. It is not in their best interest to tell you.
So there might even be different promotions that those representatives can see just based on if they're a manager or not, or what things they have access to in their system in a particular location. So even if it's like a nationwide company, they could have different promotions running in different areas or different stores. And depending on which one you go to, you might get a different result.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
It's paid. So I've seen on one side of the street, one client gets one set of promotion. Across the street, another customer gets a different set of promotions.
Wow.
Same zip code, same area code, same service, same company, different promotion. So which brings me to our one of our topics. What is the difference between the retail stores versus customer service?
Yeah.
Huge. The retail stores have an allotment of promotions that they can give out. So let's say that within a month, they can only give out $5,000 worth of promotions. Once those promotions are used, even if you're allowed to get that promotion, or even if you should be getting it, they won't give it to you because they will go above their allotment. And that's the store level. The customer service level is twofold. If you call in and you get a third party to answer the phone,
So not someone that works directly
not
with,
corporate.
they're outsourcing it to another service.
Correct. So
Okay.
almost all providers outsource their call centers to a third-party company.
Okay.
The third-party company does not have the same promotions or accessibility as the corporate office. Most customers do not know who they're talking to, corporate or an authorized retailer.
Do they have to
Third
tell
party.
you if you ask?
No.
Okay.
And
So there's no way to know.
confirm unless you know who you're talking to. Another convenient little item for them.
And those third parties may not have the same discounts, deals, abilities.
Oh, it's not that they may not. They definitely do not.
Okay.
Yeah, if there's something that we've learned in the last 10 years of renegotiating, is that third-party authorized retailers do not have the same benefits as the corporate offices.
Okay, this is just sort of, my brain is starting to like bubble here.
Yes,
going, oh
yes.
my gosh.
We're going behind the curtains.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I'm going to tell you about what happened to me.
Yes.
And then I would love for you to kind of diagnose where I went wrong and what maybe I could have done to get the result that I wanted.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so our internet kept going out, right? So we have our cable provider provides our internet. We don't do the TV, but we do the internet thing. And we use it for work. So it's kind of important that it functions. Otherwise, it's really hard to do work. So it kept going down, kept going down. This is a couple of years ago. My husband is very, very, very technical. So he understands all the techie tech things and how it all works and how servers communicate and all that sort of deal. I had called in like 2 times, I think 2 or 3 times to try to get this solved. And they, looked at it, well, press this restart. I'm sitting in the attic, clicking the buttons on the router and all this junk, right? They're going through it. Based on what they told me, I go and I explain it to him and he thinks he knows what's going on. So I get on the phone again and I get through the phone tree, get through the people, get to the next person. And I managed to get all the way to who, in my mind, is the guy whose office is in the basement, surrounded by files with the big pole next to him. But he's the one that actually knows how things work and actually like makes the changes and runs stuff, right? If something happens to that guy, the whole system goes down because he's the only one that can work it. So I get to that guy. And I put him on the phone with my husband and they talk to each other and they say, well, seems like this thing is, here and you just need to reset this or replace that. And he's like, yep, that seems to be the problem. That's exactly what needs to happen. We're like, great. So you can fix it. You have to have the $10 per month service package in order for us to fix that. I'm not allowed to fix it unless you buy the service maintenance, whatever package it is. And there's a 3-month commitment on said service package. So I'm going, wait, let me see if I got this. There's an issue on the cable company's server that is making my internet not work. And it's been doing so for weeks, but you can't fix the issue on your side that you created unless I pay a minimum of $30. And you're hoping I'll forget and not cancel. So you get at least 50 out of me before I call in, right? How could I have fixed? And I'm going to finish by telling that guy ended up not doing it. We were like, you see that this doesn't make sense. He's like, yes, ma'am, I understand. And I'm saying, and I don't want to pay $30 to fix a mistake that we didn't cause. Yes, ma'am, I understand. And so we got off the phone. I don't think it was his fault. I could tell he was very restricted in what he was allowed to do. And eventually it did get fixed. Like a few days later, everything started working. And so in my mind somewhere, that guy's a hero because he went in and fixed it after we got off the phone when no one was looking. And so I give him full credit for solving the problem. And I never paid any extra because it was broken from them. What could I have done? How could I have gotten around this? Like what needed
My
to
gosh,
happen? Is there a way? Did I do the best I could? Like,
well, we'll start with the aggravation
oh my
that you
gosh.
had to go through. And that is a industry standard.
Wow.
You and millions of customers have to go through that when you really don't have to.
Right. And
There
all
are
the curse
ways,
words, you know,
right?
when you get
You
so
really don't, and
frustrated
you
trying to fix
shouldn't
things.
have to. That's the biggest thing, is you should not have to.
Right.
Okay, so there's so many different things on this one, which is for starters. If I was smiling earlier because without even telling me the provider, I already know who
You
it
know who my
is
provider is?
by telling me that the $10 package is a minimum 3 month, which is BS.
Right.
I know what provider it is
Yep.
automatically.
Yep.
So I was laughing about that earlier. So, okay, so any service issues, we all have them, especially our internet. And as you know, our internet powers all of it. It powers our phone lines. It powers our streaming services, our TVs, our Apple TVs, brokers. I mean, it powers our entire entertainment. So without internet, you're not going very far. One of the easiest things which you've done was to diagnose the problem. A lot of times you can avoid the aggravation and the whole time on the phone by just resetting, unplugging your modem router, waiting 30 seconds, replugging it back in. When you really think about it, these modem routers, they never get turned off, ever. So what happens to a computer or a machine that is never turned off? It sometimes breaks. And when you don't reset it on a monthly or quarterly basis, the company, your internet provider, cannot send your modem router updates. It can't refresh the system. It can't improve it. So at some point, it is bound to crash. So one of the first things, even before you have a service issue, is to have a 2 or 3 month calendar reminder to just unplug your modem for 30 seconds, a minute, plug it back in. And that would avoid a lot of times those problems.
That's a great tip. So easy.
Yeah, so that's an easy thing we could do. If the problem persists beyond replugging your modem router back in, you did the first thing, which was call the tech support and diagnose the problems. 90% of the times, that gets the problem fixed. The problem with that is that there is a hold time, an extensive hold time. The person on the other line usually doesn't have, there may be a language barrier at some point. Sometimes, so that makes it stressful. And it's just overall the time consumption of the entire process. It's not a 5-minute thing. You better set.
No, I got to be prepared for like an hour and a half.
You better set an hour aside, which is a total inconvenience. So you did the right thing by calling them. If the problem persists and is not resolved by having the company diagnose it, then the company immediately should send out a technician, because if it's not your modem router, your actual equipment, it could be the splitter, which is what your equipment is plugged into, what's coming out of the wall, or a lot of times it could be an inside or outside wiring issue. If those wires have been there for a long time, weather, wear and tear, rodents are chewing on it, all sorts of things, and those wires need to get replaced.
Right. Now, should I have to pay a charge for that?
No. If the company you're buying internet service from cannot render the services, you are not responsible to fix their problems. You already are paying for the service to work on your monthly bill. Service isn't working, it's not being rendered, you should not be financially responsible to fix it unless you caused it.
Right.
Unless you physically caused the problem, and a repair has to be done. No, you should not be paying an additional fee for the services to be resolved. And which brings me to the infamous, yes, we can send a technician out, but it will be $100 or $99
Yep.
technician fee.
Right.
That is another little good but white little lie. It's an old one and a good one, but it is a lie. If the problem, the root cause of this issue was caused by wear and tear or weather or any other sorts of wiring issue, it is on the provider's responsibility to resolve it, to fix it, not yours. You are technically renting the service from them. As soon as you stop paying, you don't get service anymore.
Right.
So you are renting the service. So just like any other renter, you can expect this to get resolved without you being financially liable. So yeah, no, you did right by not paying. But still,
Okay.
the aggravation of going through it
Still I mean, it was probably
shouldn't be there.
at least 3 phone calls, at least 3 hours
Yes.
of dealing, plus the downtime. You know, the thing wasn't working, and then it would be up, and then it would be down. So super frustrating.
Yeah, there is another tip.
Yeah.
So when you call for this service issue, the first thing you want to say is, when you're going through the automated system, is that you would like to cancel your services. That puts you in the front of the line. If you say tech support or my internet is not working, you are not a priority. You will be placed on a totally different queue and wait significantly a lot longer. So to skip the line, whether it's a service issue or a billing issue, or you just want to skip the line, one of the first things that you can do is say, cancel my service. It's not the only thing you can do, because canceling your service sometimes does not take you to the right department. And then you have to then wait to be transferred to that department. So there are a few other items that you can say to skip the line, and I'll tell you that shortly. Lastly, ask for a tier 2 or a tier 3 level technician or tech support agent. And those are the staff that know what they're doing. So instead of going from customer service rep to customer service rep and department to department, just go to the top and they'll take care of it.
Yeah, that's a great idea, just to ask for what you need right away if you needed tech support, rather than bouncing around. Yeah, because it's really, really frustrating to do that. So I know you were going to tell us how to maybe understand our bill a little bit better. What is up with all those like taxes and everything that they have on the, like, I don't even know what I'm looking at when I'm on there. I just look at the total number and I'm like, well, it's about the same as last month. So great.
Yes, right. It's really convenient for them, again, to just, and put whatever they add on there and have you pay it. So that's another industry standard of what your wireless and cable provider get away with. Taxes, surcharges, fees, regulatory cost, assessment cost, equipment fee, all sorts of taxes and surcharges, they get away with as much as they want. So we'll start with something that happens every year to everyone, and more so, it will happen in about 5 months. It will happen again. So that is every February, like clockwork, your cell phone, internet, TV services are increased, and your taxes and surcharges are also increased. every February like clockwork. So in a few months, you will see, so on your March statement, you will see an increase. And for those people that have auto pay, it's already automatically billed. It's already too late.
Yeah.
It's already automatically billed. So that's an industry, standard industry, everyone. There are ways to avoid it, for sure. And that's where our expertise come in. Another kind of industry, standard industry with taxes is that they're never quoted. Whether it's at the customer, whether it's at the retail store location and you're buying something, brand new customer, they don't quote your taxes. Or whether you're talking to customer care and you're buying more services or even reducing the cost of your services, they never ever want to share your taxes. Well, why is that? Right? Which leads to the false expectations. It leads to them promising one bill and then being another.
Right, because those taxes are anywhere from, I don't know, I want to say like $15 a month. I mean, I'm sure it can vary depending on what services you have. But if you think,
so those
okay,
are just
my
the
budget,
taxes.
right?
What
And that's
about
just the taxes. Surcharges, fees, extra stuff.
Well,
exactly. So if you're trying to work on a budget and you're like, okay, I got this deal and it's going to be under $100 a month for my internet, and you're happy with that, well, then your bill comes and it's $125. And you're like, wait, that's not the budget. That's not what I was thinking it was going to be.
Correct. Yes, that's exactly right. So again, another industry standard with taxes is that they don't quote you. I will give you a little tip and company secrets. Taxes, both on your wireless services or cable service, internet and TV, roughly run 15% of your total monthly recurring charges.
Okay.
In other words, if you know that your bill is going to be $100 plus taxes, add $15 to $17 on top of that. So whatever your monthly cost is, add a 15 to 17% of taxes. And that's just taxes. So there are some companies where the network fee has a separate charge than taxes. The regulatory fee has a separate charge. So, but as far as taxes just themselves, 15 to 17%. And that way you can get a better idea of what you're going to be paying.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I love all the information that you have given us today. Let's put everyone out of their suspense and tell them those last ways to skip that line other than I want to cancel to get up to something, get in there a little bit faster, get your call on the quick list.
Absolutely. There's a few ways. So if you call and you immediately press 0, you'll skip a line, whether it's your cell phone provider or your cable provider. And that's one. The other way is to cancel my service. The other way is to say new service. So new service customers, of course, get to skip the line.
Right.
When someone's going to pick up within seconds, I guarantee you.
Oh, you want to spend more money with us?
Because they think that's right. That's right. So as soon as you get to that representative, then you can go ahead and say, I'm actually an existing customer, and here's what I would like to do. So those are all great ways to skip that line and skip that wait.
I love it. And then you can get in there, get it done, get out, and move on, free up the space for somebody else.
One of the most important things that our policy that we do here is as soon as you get on the phone with someone, give them the best callback number.
Great idea.
How many times has the phone dropped, they hung up on you, you dropped your phone, or any of the other ways the phone got disconnected, And now you have to start all over.
Right.
First thing, before you even go into your transaction or what you need help with, hey, here's my best callback number if we get disconnected. Not every representative asks. So
Right.
you want to make sure they know how to reach you if something happens. One of the most frustrating things when the phone call drops and you have to start all over.
Start again.
And most people don't.
Right.
And then they end up overpaying.
And then, yes, exactly. And I think something you touched on earlier too is really important. And this callback number does it. By giving that to them, you're kind of communicating, hey, it's not my first day. I know what I'm doing, but also I want to be respectful and help you out. So if you're going in there with that like kind of professional, let's get the job done and move on attitude, I feel like you'd get a better response. And I always have, than if you go in, yelling, screaming, angry, frustrated, all of that kind of stuff. You can kind of keep it together for the call, probably going to get a better result. Because I know you even mentioned that one person that you've seen the rep see the discount, but the customer was really rude, so they didn't give it to them.
So, which brings me to my last point of kind of do's and don'ts. If you are rude to your sales representative, customer service representative at the store, or with customer service, they will be less likely to help you. Because you have to think about it, it's not you being rude, it's the 100 people before you. And all day long, these individuals are being screamed at, are being yelled at for things that a lot of times they did not do. You're cleaning up after someone else's mess. So they're less likely to help you if you are not nice to them. And that's an easy one. Another do's, so that's a good don't. Yeah. Another do's is call early in the morning. When you call early in the morning, these representatives have the best I can help you attitude. They're usually having coffee. They maybe have listened to a podcast on the way to work. They are more willing to help you. If you call later in the afternoon when they've been screamed at all day, they're less likely to help you.
Yeah,
and that is another
kind of done.
Yes, that's another standard little secret that you can get away with. And lastly, just an innocent, hey, how are you? How's your day? Makes them feel happier about the call, and it does not make them feel invisible like everyone else is making them. So by giving them just a little bit of attention and just asking them, hey, I know I have a problem, but how are you? I hope you're doing well. Let's resolve this together. That is another way for you to get better results.
I love that. Thank you, Rick. This has been amazing.
You're so welcome.
So much great information. So much great information.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're so very welcome. If you want to chat with Rick further, you can find him at Premier Solutions, Inc. His office line is 954-591-9565. His email is rg@sflsolutionsinc.com, and that's also the website, sflsolutionsinc.com. Thank you as well to all of our listeners and viewers. I'm your host, Camille Diaz. I specialize in financial education, life insurance with living benefits, and guaranteed lifetime income. You can contact me and find out what else I'm up to through my website, CamilleDiaz.com, and follow me on social media at Cam Unfiltered. Be sure to follow MoneyHeart at MoneyHeart Show and on our website, MoneyHeartShow.com. The money mantra that Rick brought for us today is, it takes talent to make it, but brains to keep it. Thank you so much again, Rick.
Thank you, Camille. Cheers.